Let me ask you something. When you look at your crypto portfolio right now, are you proud of what you see? Or are you looking at a screen that reflects months, maybe years of almost doing the right things but never quite following through? 2026 is here, and I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Most of you watching this will make the same mistake you made in 2025. Same emotional trades, same panic selling at the bottom, same buying at the top because the excitement finally got to you, same version of your portfolio that you're tired of looking at. But it doesn't have to be that way, because the gap between where you are now and where you want to be in crypto isn't as wide as you think. It's not some massive transformation that requires a perfect bull market or a lucky trade or information you don't have access to. It's 7 habits. That's it. 7 things that if you lock in right now will make your relationship with crypto unrecognizable by this time next year. So, if you're serious, give me 10 minutes. Only 10 minutes. And if you can't focus for 10 minutes on something that could genuinely change your financial future, close this video now. I don't want to waste your time. Still here? Good. That already puts you ahead of most people. So listen carefully, because what I'm about to share will either push you to change or make you uncomfortable enough to realize you're not ready yet. Either way, you need to hear it. Habit 1. Study the market before the market opens. This first habit is the foundation for everything else. Every serious day, before you check social media, before you look at price action, before you read what anyone else thinks about what Bitcoin is going to do, you spend 15 minutes studying the fundamentals of what you own. Not price predictions, not influencer takes, actual fundamentals, on-chain data, development activity, macro conditions, the underlying thesis of why the assets you hold have long-term value. I already know what you're thinking. I don't have time for that in the morning. I just want to know if it went up or down. And that right there is exactly the problem. That reaction, checking price before checking fundamentals, is the habit that keeps most crypto investors permanently reactive and permanently underperforming. Every serious crypto investor who has built and kept wealth does this. They understand what they own deeply enough that short-term price movement doesn't control their emotions. The morning study session is how you build that depth. It is a statement. When you study before the market opens, you are telling yourself, I am an investor, not a gambler. I make decisions from knowledge, not from fear. Habit 2. Stop chasing pumps, chase conviction instead. This one is going to sting for some of you, but it needs to be said. Stop chasing whatever is pumping right now. Stop obsessing over which altcoin is going to run next week. Stop wasting your mental energy, your time, and your capital jumping from opportunity to opportunity every time something new starts moving. The truth is, if you have no clear investment thesis, no deep understanding of what you own and why, and no plan for how you're going to respond when it drops 50%, no amount of chart watching, group chat monitoring, or social media scanning is going to build you lasting wealth. Focus on building your conviction, your understanding of the assets you hold, your clarity on why you own them, what the long-term case is, and what would actually change your mind. Become so focused on a small number of high-conviction positions that chasing the next pump feels like a distraction rather than an opportunity. And here's what happens when you do that. The right opportunities find you, not because you're lucky, because you became the kind of investor who can recognize genuine value instead of just momentum. If you want to hold assets that actually build wealth over time, you need to become the kind of investor those assets reward. Right now, you might be thinking, but I don't want to miss the next big move. I get it, but chasing moves out of FOMO is going to cost you far more than the moves you miss by staying disciplined. The investors who chase every pump are the ones funding the exits of the investors who waited. So here is what you do instead. Spend the next year building genuine conviction in a small number of assets you understand deeply. Study them, follow their development, understand the thesis and the risks, and when the market tries to distract you with something shiny, let it. Habit 3. Protect your position every single day. This one is non-negotiable. Every single day, you do something that protects what you've built. And I'm not talking about obsessing over price or adding stop losses everywhere. I mean the foundational security habits that most crypto investors ignore until it's too late. Check that your assets are properly secured. Review that your seed phrases are stored safely and that someone you trust knows what to do with them if something happens to you. Make sure your exchange accounts have the strongest security measures enabled. Keep a clear record of everything you own and where it is. Here's why this matters so much. Your crypto portfolio has no safety net, no fraud department, no dispute process, no customer service line that can reverse a transaction or recover a lost key. The security of your assets is entirely your responsibility, and most people treat it like an afterthought. The difference between investors who build wealth over multiple cycles and investors who don't is not always strategy. Sometimes it is simply that one person protected what they built and one person didn't. Your position is a reflection of your discipline, and in 2026, protecting what you've earned is as important as earning it. Habit 4. Spend 1 hour every day learning something that makes you a better investor. Do you understand that the investor you are today is a direct result of everything you've learned up until now, and the investor you'll be in 2026 depends entirely on what you learn between now and then? Pick one area of knowledge that will make you more capable. On-chain analysis, macroeconomics, trading psychology, tax strategy, smart contract auditing, risk management frameworks, whatever aligns with where you want to go, and then spend 1 hour every day getting better at it. Here's why this compounds faster than you think. 1 hour a day doesn't sound like much, but over a year, that is 365 hours. That is enough to go from knowing almost nothing about a subject to being genuinely competent in it. In 12 months, you could understand Bitcoin's monetary policy deeply enough to hold through any bear market without flinching. You could understand tax implications well enough to save thousands you're currently leaving on the table. You could understand market cycles well enough to recognize where you are in one without needing anyone to tell you. Most people don't do this. They spend an hour a day consuming crypto content that makes them feel informed without actually teaching them anything. Influencer takes, price predictions, hype videos, content that creates the sensation of learning without the substance of it. And then they wonder why their decision-making never actually improves. If you're not genuinely learning every day, you're falling behind. The crypto space moves fast. New developments, new risks, new opportunities. If you're not growing as an investor, you're not standing still. You're falling behind the people who are. Habit 5. Document your investment journey publicly. Before you say, "I'm not trying to be a crypto influencer," let me explain why this is one of the most powerful things you can do for your own investing. Documenting your journey is not about building a following. It is about building accountability, clarity, and discipline. When you commit to writing down or recording your investment thesis, your decisions, your reasoning, and your results, something changes in how you think. You stop making vague emotional decisions because you know you are going to have to explain them. You start developing clearer frameworks because you need to be able to articulate your thinking. You build a record of your mistakes and your wins that you can actually learn from rather than misremembering them in whatever way protects your ego. And the reality is this: in 2026, the people who can communicate clearly about complex financial ideas are going to have enormous advantages. Whether that means better professional opportunities, a following that creates income, or simply the confidence to explain your strategy to a financial advisor, a partner, or yourself at 3 a.m. during a crash. You do not have to go viral. You do not have to have thousands of followers. You just need to show up consistently and document honestly. The discipline that builds is worth more than any audience you might accumulate. Habit 6. Take a daily quiet walk with no screens. This one sounds too simple to matter. It is one of the most powerful habits on this list. Every day, take a walk. No phone, no podcast, no music, no market updates. Just you and your thoughts. Morning, evening, whenever works for you. The key is complete silence. Your mind is constantly overstimulated by the crypto space. All day you are consuming price charts, news, opinions, predictions, fear and greed signals. Your brain never gets a break, and because of that, you never actually think clearly. You react, you consume, but you do not process. You do not solve problems. You do not develop the kind of long-term thinking that actually builds wealth. Quiet walks fix this. When you walk in silence, your mind starts to settle. The noise falls away. Thoughts you didn't know you were carrying come to the surface. Your brain begins to work on the problems you haven't consciously been giving it time to process. Clarity arrives that simply cannot come when you're staring at a screen. Some of the best investment decisions I am aware of were not made by analyzing more data. They were made by walking away from the data long enough to think. Habit 7, and this is the one that will change your crypto journey more than anything else. Practice speaking about your investments with complete confidence every single day. Even if it's just to yourself, even if no one is listening, practice explaining what you own, why you own it, what would make you sell it, what would make you buy more, and what your long-term plan actually is. Investors who can articulate their thesis clearly hold through volatility. Investors who cannot sell at the bottom, because when the fear is highest and the noise is loudest, the only thing that keeps you in your position is the ability to come back to a clear, rational explanation of why you're there. Think about the most successful long-term with the strongest counterarguments without panicking. That is not a coincidence. That is a skill. And it is a skill you can build starting today. Talk to yourself about your portfolio. Explain your thesis out loud. Pick an asset you hold and speak about it for 2 to 3 minutes without stopping. Record yourself and listen back. Yes, it will be uncomfortable, but you will immediately hear where your conviction is real and where it is just hope dressed as a thesis. Fix one thing at a time. Build from there. Because in the end, communication is leverage. If you can speak clearly about what you own and why, you can hold when others panic. You can buy when others sell. You can think straight when the market is designed to make clear thinking as difficult as possible. Look, I need to be honest with you. These 7 habits are not easy. They require real discipline. Most people watching this will not do them. They will feel motivated for a few hours, maybe a day, and then return to the same patterns. They will enter 2026 the same way they entered 2025, with hope but no structure, with ambition but no system, with the same costly habits they have always had. So, here is what I need you to do. Pick 3 habits from this list, not all 7. Start with 3. Commit to doing them every single day for the next 30 days. Write them down in the comments below so you have said it publicly and made it real. And then start. Not on January 1st, not when the market looks better, tomorrow. Because the version of you that builds real wealth in crypto in 2026 is not going to appear on its own. That version of you is built one habit at a time, starting with the decision you make in the next 5 minutes. If this pushed you to think differently about how you show up as a crypto investor, hit that like button and share it with someone who is serious about making 2026 different. And if you want to go deeper on the specific frameworks for building each of these habits into a daily system that actually holds up through bear markets and bull markets alike, subscribe and watch the next video. Because knowing the habits is the easy part. Building the system that makes them automatic is where everything changes.